Right, now let's have a look at the elements that are going to go on the inside of that right hand page. Now, yes, I'm very fortunate. I've got the dies from the Precious Memories collection. Some of you may already have those, and if you have, you can quite easily use those. And these are the dies I'm talking about. These are these little pocket dies. You might have something similar in your crafty stash as well, and they fit perfectly on here. So what you're going to do with those, you're going to die cut. If you've got them, I'm going to show you an alternative. So you're going to die cut 2 of those, okay, and we'll just glue those down. So if you're not quite sure how to use them, I thought I'd show you that as well. So I'll just pop in a little bit of red liner tape on there. Get my scissors. And a little piece of red liner tape here at the bottom. Okay. You know, you may have some other makes of dies that work just as well with this, what I'm doing here now. So all I'm doing is creating some little pockets. You may choose not to add any pockets. You might want to keep it as another photo mat opportunity because you can put a nice big photo there. The choice is entirely yours. So what you're going to do is pop that one over there and then take that off, and that folds up over there. All the score lines are already in there for you. Okay, so they're already done. And then what I've done is, with all the ink I've used for this collection that I'm using, I've used Smoked Emerald, and it's the Harmony Water Reactive. Just dusting the corners, so any ink will do, but I found that colour works really well. And then I die cut myself this as well that you can pop in. Okay, and then it's as quick and as easy as it is, a bit of tacky glue on the back to attach to your page. But I said I'll show you an alternative, and I'm going to just pop these 2 down here just to show you they fit nicely. So these are from the Precious Memories dies from Crafter's Companion. They came with all those mini book selection, which is perfect size for this project. Okay, so that's going to go there. Now, if you don't have those, what you can do is, I've die cut my bits out here ready somewhere. Oh, here they are. Right, so what I've got is I've got a piece of the cardstock here, okay, which is measuring 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So I've got a piece of cardstock. Use your corner rounder. You can round the corners off, so that gives you that nice shape. If you've got a circle punch, just do a little half circle in the middle like that, okay, and then I've cut myself some little strips. These are 1/2 inch strips, and I've done a score line in the middle, so you've got a 1/4 inch score line and a 1/2 inch strip. Now you could quite easily just put some of that really thin tape down on there and stick that to your page. That's absolutely fine, not a problem at all. But I wanted to give you some alternatives because not everybody has that or wants to do it that way. They might want to put something in that's a bit more sturdy. So I'm going to put some red liner tape down there, and it's just quite nice to show you that if you don't have all the bits and pieces, you can still create lovely projects. Okay, so, and that one down there. Okay, just going to snip that top piece off there. So I've got my 2 red pieces on there. Take away that piece, and this is where you're going to add your gusset if you like, to the side. This means you can put a little bit more in your pocket. Okay, so you've just got that gusset attached there, and do the same on the other side. Okay, don't worry that they're too long, we can trim these up, and this is all made from those scraps that you've got left so far from your collection. And then all I would do is just go in with my scissors and cut round the corner. Ooh, so it finishes that off nicely. Okay, and then you're going to add a little piece on the bottom, the same. So just adding a little bit of tape on the bottom there. Take that tape off. Bring in another little piece there. So these are ideal to make with your scraps. So it just shows you can use these in your scrapbook layouts, you can use them on the mini books, so you don't necessarily have to have the extra dies. If you don't have them, you can still do it. Okay, so that goes like that, and all you do again is put your red line tape on there and stick that onto your page, and you've got that nice, again, little gusset there to pop it in. All right, and then to do your tag, you're just going to make a tag that's a little bit narrower. All right, if you have a nice tag punch like this one, or a tag die, or you can cut your own tag die. Okay, so you're just going to cut that out. Let's just cut that strip up there because that matches. Okay, so you can just add a tag in there and cut that the length you want. Okay, so that would fit in there perfectly. So you can still make little pockets with tags even if you don't have the fancy dies. Okay, and then you can put a piece of pattern paper over the top there if you wish. Choice is yours. So that's another way you can make them. And if you haven't got a fancy tag punch, just simply miter the corners and punch a hole in the top. Simplest way to do it. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a few little alternatives there. Now for the envelope, what I've done is I've actually used an envelope stencil. Okay, again, something I had in my crafty stash for ages, and I thought, right, yeah, I'll use that. You could make an envelope on your ultimate as well, another thing you could do, or you might have a little envelope. Okay, so with this, all you're going to do is on the hash lines is just do your scores. I'm turning it backwards first just so I can see where my lines are. You could go on your scoreboard and score them properly if you wish, but I'm just using the paper to do this, so it works quite nicely. Now the envelope I'm making here is a 3" by 3" envelope, but so that's a 3" by 3", and then I've made the little booklet to go inside 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So let's bring all this together. So now we'll turn it around the other way. So 1, 2, and this is going to come up just to there and fold under. Okay, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of that red line tape on there again. Okay, so I'm just going to pop a piece on there. But with these mini books, this is where you can add little pieces like this, whatever you like. This is where you can add your own little twist on these. You know, have a look and see what you've got in your crafty stash, because I bet you've got lots of bits really at home. You know, just have fun with them. That's the nice thing about them. Take the one off there. Okay, that's just going to come down on there like that. Just going to snip that bit of tape off there. That's my little envelope. So I've got myself a piece of ribbon to do the tie. Okay, so that's going to do my tie on there. And I'm probably going to go, this piece of ribbon's probably far too big, but so I put a piece of red line at the back just to hold it in place. But it's quite nice to have little secret pockets in little mini books, because I think if you're giving them to someone, it's like a little secret, isn't it? It's just something a little bit special. So, and I'm going to pop, in fact, let me put a bit of ink again around the edge, just defines it, and just on the, see, not a lot, I haven't re-inked that at all. There's enough ink on here, and this is the thing when you're inking, don't be too overzealous with it. If you say, don't put too much on. So glue on here. Alright, and then I put mine right in the middle, but again, choice is yours. So I'm just going to put that in, and then obviously you tie your envelope up. Okay, the envelope on this flap isn't big enough to add a magnet, and I didn't want to do that in this mini book because I wanted to show even a beginner with small resources what they could create. I'm going to cut that piece off, it's a bit too long. Okay, so that's those elements. So that's now nicely stuck on there, okay, with our ribbon. And then to make the little booklet, what I've done is I've cut a piece of cardstock that is 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, but I've done it so it's longer, so it's 5.5 inches. Let me just double check. I trimmed it up, folded it in half and then trimmed it up. Yeah, 5.5. So you're going to go 5.5 by 2 3/4, score line in the middle, and then go with your corner round and corner the edges. And then I've just put some of the same pattern paper in there, and this is measuring 2.5 by 2.5, and again my corner rounder in those two corner pieces, because I think this little pocket is perfect for, was nice for your little secrets, but it's nice to add some hidden journaling. You might want to give this as a gift, and it's quite nice to have the little envelope as your greeting to somebody as well. So I'm just going to pop that on there. So that is your little booklet all done. That's going to pop inside your envelope. And I haven't used a magnet because there's not much space, and that's why we've used the ribbon. But I think the ribbon's quite nice. It's thinner than the other ribbon, but it's nice that you're carrying that theme through of the same products. And as I said, it's, you know, don't go and add too many heavy embellishments. Otherwise, once you've got your photos in here, you're not going to be able to shut it all nicely up. So let's close that all in now, so that all fits nicely. Okay, close that all up and tie the ribbon, and then we're going to look now at making our box, presentation box to give this in. Okay, because it's nice to give it as a gift. So that's your wallet all done. You can see it fits beautifully. All those nice gusseted lines, so they're just crying out for their photographs to go in there. So let's look at our box. So you've got your two pieces of cardstock. One is slightly bigger than the other, so the bigger piece is your box lid. And I wanted to show you this way, so if you didn't have a Score Master or a Score Pal, you could still make one. Okay, so I'm going to take my box base first, and I'm going to score 3/4 of an inch on all four sides. Okay, so that's half, 1, 2, down. That's the way to remember it. Half, 1, 2, down. Okay, so this is my base. Okay, and then I'm going to do exactly the same on my box lid. So I'm still going down 3/4 of an inch. Alright, so as I say, this is quite nice if you want to do it as a presentation box, seal the size and pop in the post. So it just sort of decorates it up as an envelope. It's nice to give as a gift with your album inside as well. So that's another nice way of using it. Okay, now what you can do is you can, in fact, let's first of all start by burnishing these. We can go ahead and stick our pattern papers on first before we pop this all together. Alright, and it might be easier to pop them all on first. So this is where already I've forgotten which is box base and which is box lid. But if I put the two together, I can see this one's the lid because it's bigger. So even I do it, and I'm trying to tell myself, no, don't get them mixed up, Dawn. Keep them the same. But I do. So, okay. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to stick my paper on before I start trimming the sides. Okay, I've got it all there ready. I had my papers all pre-cut because I went to my website and I cut my papers accordingly. So I picked this for my box lid at the smaller paper pad because I thought that's quite nice. So I'm just going to stick that on there. So again, I'm just using the good old Kalau. So close to the edges but not too close because we can spread it out. Okay. Alright. See, some seeped out already, see? And I wasn't that close to the edge. And then I've cut my strips as well. So these are 1/2 inch. Okay. So I could have put these on with a piece of 1/2 inch sticky tape, but I haven't. So they're my edges. So let's just get all these stuck on first. Normally I'd cut all my box first and then do this, but personally I'm thinking this is an easier way to go. Okay, this is starting to come up, so what I'm going to do is just bring that back where I want it. See, the glue is crying out to be burnished. Got a little bit seeped out the end. Again, you see I didn't have that much glue on there, but this glue does set like concrete. It gives another layer. I've got projects from years ago and they're still going strong. Can't recommend it enough. I've probably been creating mini books for about 8 years now, so something I love doing. And when I come up with new things, it's quite nice to share them with you all as well, and I do hope you enjoy making them as well. If you do, please do leave a comment below. It's nice to have feedback and let other people know if you've enjoyed making it or if you found it hard or easy. Quite nice to know all these things. So that is my lid all down, and then I've kept a piece of pattern paper for my box base because I think it's quite nice to have it decorated all the way around. I haven't done any on the sides because I didn't want to interfere with it fitting correctly, so I've just done a bit there for the base. Again, give that a nice burnish, and then we can start putting this together. Okay, so you've got your score lines. So what you're going to do is you're going to snip up on a score line, and just take a little piece out, just like that. Okay, because what it does is it helps your box to sit nicely when we're putting it together. And you're going to do that on all four. Now I could have decorated the inside of my box, but I didn't want to waste the nice papers. But if I was giving this as a gift, I probably would. Alright, so again up on the, so I'm cutting on the actual score line itself and then just taking that tiny little wedge out. Alright, so then we can put this together. So I'm going to use tacky for this because you've got a quicker grab. So I'm just going to put a little blob of tacky, that's probably far too big a blob, Dawn, on those four corners. Okay, and then here I always keep them in my craft room. These little bulldog clips, they're brilliant for just holding things when you haven't got enough hands. So I'm going to fold that up so you've got that nice square. Okay, and they're going to pop one of these grips in its place, because this is what I mean, when you're using wet glue they don't stay put. Another thing, if you haven't got any fancy things like this, just use clothes pegs. You peg your washing out on the line with. If I'm doing Clark workshops, I've bought some special, well I've just bought the wooden clothes pegs because they're handy. I can just keep those for workshops. So when I've got lots of ladies, the wooden clothes pegs work beautifully. Plastic work just as well, but either way, it just holds all that in place. Just a minute while we get everything ready. So I'm going to go in and do exactly the same with my lids. So down a little piece, down a little piece, come out, or I should say up really, shouldn't I, not down. Anyway, you know what I mean. So okay, and we're going to do the same with this. Just making sure all those corners are nicely down, and put a blob of my tacky on. Try not to be too big. Okay, let's see if this one's ready to, see how quick it grabs that tacky glue, just perfect. Okay, so that's taken already. So let's now just attach these. Another thing you could use, if you haven't got any pegs and you haven't got any clips, is, and I have done it in the past, I'm trying to find my roll, and I can't find my roll when I need it. Oh, here it is, in my messy craft room, is some repositionable tape. So if you wanted to use repositionable tape, okay, because that's another good thing you can use, and just making sure these are all as they should be. Nothing would have not had any movement. No, nice and square. Because that's the trouble when I'm talking, I do get carried away. Yeah, that one wasn't quite as I wanted it. I thought there was one that wasn't quite how I wanted it. Good job I checked. Right, so if you're using repositionable tape, and this is our Crafts Companion repositionable tape, take a piece off, and then all I would do is pop it on the corners like that, just while it's drying, because that just holds that in a nice square while it's drying. And then when it's all dried, you can just peel that off and use that for your dies or anything you like. So repositionable tape's another good one to use. So let's see if our project fits in our box. Fits perfectly, does it not? So let's pop that in there. And this is why I haven't, this ribbon's probably a bit too long, this is why I haven't got too much embellishment on the top. If I did, I'd have to make my box a lot deeper. So with me talking, hopefully my lid is now dry enough. I would leave it to dry a little bit longer. And then you're going to pop your lid onto your box. Fits perfectly, look, absolutely marvellous. So your lid's going to go on your box. There you go, just need your greeting on there, and that is your project all done. So you've got your presentation box. Let's move these out of the way. So you've got your presentation box, okay, all there ready to go. Take your lid off. There's your project. So that's your box base, box lids. All you've done is done 1/8 of an inch difference. So if you haven't got a Score Master or a Score Pal, you can still make boxes. Here's our project. We open it up. So we've got room for photographs, room for big photographs, more room for big photographs, again big photographs, pockets. We can put photos on. You could probably put another pocket in there as well. You've got enough cardstock left. And if I open this out again, big photographs can go on here and on here. And you could put another one of these mats in here if you wish. Your choice entirely. And then if we open up this side, we've got our little tags. With those pockets, you can either make them with a die or the other way that I showed you. You got your little envelope here with your booklet, ready to write all those little sayings or greeting or memorabilia or a little story behind the photographs that are in your actual album. Okay, so that ties up nicely. And then lastly, in the middle, you've got your waterfall pages with all those space for those big albums. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed the project. I'm Dawn McPhee from Dawn's Inspirations. If you have, please leave a comment below or pop over to my website and leave a comment, because I do love to hear feedback of what you think about it and if you like it or not. Okay, and if you've made one, and if you have, please do share some pictures over on my Facebook page, Dawn's Inspirations. I'd love to see what you've done with your finished album, the papers you've used. So if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do by pressing the subscribe button. Pop over to my Facebook page, Dawn's Inspirations, and press a like there and you'll see what's going on over there in my crafty world. So I'm Dawn McPhee. Thank you for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the project. Bye for now.